How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Now, for a long time, I've actually made a lot of noise in the Destiny community. I have dropped off because I pretty much was chased out of the Destiny community for my views. But Aztecross has actually made a video that I made like a long time ago. He's actually gone into it in a lot more depth, as there is a lot more things wrong with Destiny at the moment with the microtransaction problem. But I actually made this, like, a lot of the points quite some time ago, and I just want to sit down. I've been told to react to this because apparently it should resonate with me quite well. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get on with the video and let's make a start.
October 13th will see the return of Test to the Tower. Silver is a new currency coming to Destiny that is bought with real money. This is the introduction of microtransactions into Destiny, but I've never had a problem with cosmetic microtransactions. A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold. I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold. Nothing. I don't want to see weapon parts, ammo synths, nothing. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
Guys, I hate to say it, but now may be the time to start raging. Now I'm gonna preface this by saying, no, this is not a joke video. When it comes to greedy corporate monetization practices, to us, this is really not a laughing matter. Those clips you just watched are from a 7-year-old video Dado posted in Destiny 1 about a month after the release of The Taken King, and my god, it has aged like fine wine. Today, we'll be talking about the state of microtransactions inside of Destiny 2, because over the last several years, and increasingly this past year, we have seen a dramatic increase in monetization for anything and everything Bungie can slap behind a paywall. This includes raising prices, creating new avenues for spending, double dipping into the existing player base, and giving players blatant pay-to-win benefits. Now, here are the timestamps on the screen for each topic covered in this video. This is going to be a long one, so grab your popcorn. And one thing I ask before you leave a comment criticizing or even defending Bungie, please watch this video in its entirety. We're going to cover a lot of ground today because I want all of us here to have a full perspective on how bad microtransactions have become over the past 7 years. And maybe by the end of this video, when all Bungie schemes are on the table, you will share my concern for what this game may look like 7 years in the future.
So to just preface, when they first introduced microtransactions, I actually was one of the first to come out and say, like, this is going to be a problem. As long as they kept it cosmetic, and back then, cosmetics were like a new thing for Destiny, but they also had them kind of in-game as well. They never completely and utterly removed them from earnable, but that slowly changed. And as it changed, more and more people accepted it because it's just cosmetic. But in a looter shooter, looking good and chasing cosmetics is part of the fun. Ooh, free to play. This game is not free to play. Not at all.
But first off, I want to set the record straight. Destiny 2 is not a free-to-play game. It's a free-to-try game. It's very important we are all on the same page here.
Oh, I am.
This is the most common justification for the use of microtransactions across the industry, and the biggest illusion Bungie tries to spin in their marketing. Microtransactions in real free-to-play content makes perfect sense. If you're not paying to purchase the actual software, then the developers are completely justified in generating revenue using other means. Usually, this is just in the form of cosmetic items that players purchase for digital fashion, fun, or even clout. But developers can also use more shady techniques like loot boxes, bonuses, or even additional content to persuade players to spend more money. With that being said, Destiny, even after becoming free-to-play in 2019, has never actually been free-to-play. Matter of fact, Sweatsickle even made a video a couple weeks ago documenting the experience of a free-to-play player in Destiny, which I highly recommend giving a watch. In a nutshell,
I just want to add that, again, I'm really happy he's made this video. I'm not going to stop it as often as I am, don't worry. But I've always said that this game is not free to play. It's free to try, and anything meaningful is locked behind a paywall. And anything that isn't locked behind a paywall will get zero attention going forward by Bungie.
nutshell, after completing the introduction quests and missions, free-to-play players can access Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, the Prophecy Dungeon, Vault of Glass, King's Fall, Open World, and Dares of Eternity. On the surface, that actually seems like a decent amount of free content, but is it actually? Compared to the massive amount of content in Destiny, this is just a fraction of what the majority of players have access to. You don't even get a campaign in free-to-play. You get rituals, quests, and a couple of high-end activities. Let's compare this to some other free-to-play games, shall we? Starting with arguably the most popular free-to-play game, Fortnite. There are plenty of microtransactions in Fortnite, but all of them are strictly for cosmetics. Even the seasonal battle pass, which you can pay for, is earnable via just playing the game. Granted, that would take a while. The free version of the battle pass gives you V-Bucks that you can save up to buy the paid version. And as long as you play enough to complete the battle pass each season, you can earn enough to repurchase it again next season. 100% completely free. There's even some currency left over you can choose to save or even spend in the shop if you want to buy some cosmetics. Next up, we have Warframe.
I mean, even Call of Duty does that.
Warframe is kind of a touchy subject, but Warframe is also a free-to-play game. The Nightweave Battle Pass is completely free. The updates are free, and you can earn the paid currency in the game's player-driven market. So it too is essentially free. Now, these are just two prime examples, and I could dive into more, but I think you
Lol.
these games grant you access to all the actual gameplay content for free. In Destiny, you get maybe 10% of the content for free, which means this is not exactly free to play. That's a free trial. Destiny is by no means the first to do it though. Remember the light versions of apps back in the early days of iPhone? Every major game had a free light version, essentially a demo. Angry Birds Lite, Minecraft Lite, Light Bike Lite.
And I've always said this.
But free trial and free to play have been commingled so much that players can't differentiate between the two. Another common trait of free trials is that they're full of ads. As a new light player, the number of pop-ups you receive in game telling you to buy more content is ludicrous. Don't be fooled. Bungie offers a free trial of Destiny 2, and if you want to play the full version, you have to pay money. Lots and lots of money.
Agreed. And that's gotten worse and worse as it's gone along because the free-to-play system, they give you a lot more.
But quite frankly, it's confusing as hell. You got the Lightfall plus Annual Pass, or Lightfall by itself, the Legacy Collection, which includes Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep, the 30th Anniversary Pack, Witch Queen, Beyond Light separately, as well as Shadowkeep separately, the Forsaken Pack, and the Armory Collection, which includes both Forsaken and the 30th Anniversary Pack. There's so many different bundles for old content that quite frankly, this is absurd. I have so many people that come into the stream that ask, which one do I buy? And quite frankly, how in the hell is someone new to the game supposed to navigate all of this? Now here's a novel idea. Why don't Bungie just bundle everything? Literally, just the everything bundle. All content through the year of Lightfall, or the Lightfall plus Annual Pass, or the Legacy Content Bundle, which includes all those old things that tends to confuse the piss out of everyone. Now, if you need to itemize old expansions for players who want to purchase a single piece of content, that's fine. But even this list is already so much simpler than what Bungie already offers. Then you may be asking, why does this not exist already? Spoiler alert, there's no singular bundle for all of old Destiny content because Bungie refuses to improve the new player experience for the sake of decreased revenue. If they care more about the player base than the extra cash, they would bundle all the old content under one single legacy content bundle instead of nickel and diming new players. Now,
agreed.
Why is the Forsaken Pack, a bundle containing a raid, a dungeon, and some exotic weapons and armor still even a thing? It also used to contain 9 supers for each light subclass as well, and those were added into free-to-play because locking supers behind paywalls was stupid, and what remains is what new players are still paying for. Now, why was the 30th anniversary update?
And can you believe it? Locking the supers behind the paywall was defended by the Destiny community. They were like, if you want to try those new supers, pay them money. If you're putting a game that's free to play, supers, you want to entice them to buy the latest expansion. How can they buy the latest expansion if they can't even try it? And that to this day is still the case, right? Like if I don't have a Lightfall, and let's say for example I bought Lightfall on PlayStation, right? And I log out on Lightfall on my PlayStation and I go to my PC. I can't use Strand there. I have to re-buy the game again. Seasons are universal across, but why? Why do I have to double dip?
even a separate paid add-on in the first place. Remember when Bungie updated the game with cool content for free? Some new players might not remember, but the April
I do.
update in Destiny 1 was a free update to
And
the
this is
game
why I
that
say Destiny
increased
1
fight level, added a new story
was
mission,
always the
quests,
pinnacle.
revamps of old strikes, updates to the Prison of Elders, chroma gear for custom armor glows, a new taken set of armor, reprised exotics, and legendary weapons. All of this for free. It was like a mini expansion that we got as a gift from Bungie. Fast forward a year ago, if you didn't pre-order the deluxe edition of Witch Queen, you had to dish out $25 to get access to things like the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, Galahorn, and a bunch of cosmetics. Yes, there were parts of this update that were free, like Dares of Eternity, which is a completely new activity, and I understand that a lot of developer work went into creating these, but I bring this up to draw a comparison of how things used to be 7 years ago. The reality is, if the 30th anniversary update was released in Destiny 1, we would have received it completely free.
Agreed. Oh, dungeon keys. Dungeon keys are the worst. This is content that used to be free. It was free packaged with the actual expansion. When you paid the expansion, it was given to you with the expansion. You didn't need to buy a deluxe edition. You didn't need to buy anything. You know what? It was 35 quid. I get it. I would have even been happy if they increased the price from 35 to 45 and just put the dungeons into it. I would be more happy with that. But to strip the dungeons and say you have to pay 20 quid for it, that is disgusting. I don't care how you want to sugarcoat it, how you want to idolize it. It's wrong. And to all you Destiny white knights out there, you are enabling this. And I'm happy that they are nickel and diming you so much right now, and that you are basically being forced to spend more money because you created this problem. It is your fault. Not anyone else's, it's your fault. Because at the end of the day, when these concerns were raised, when these problems were being put out there, and you were defending Bungie saying, oh, but they're an independent company now, they need money. Well, they're not independent anymore. They were just bought out for 3.6 billion. They don't need it. They got 3.6 billion and the game is still crap. You can't play it, the servers are trash, and the microtransaction is increased and going through the roof. So where's your argument now that they need the money? Oh, we can't do anything without the money. They can't. Where is all that money going? They promised the Eververse money was to go to new content and seasonal activities. Where is all of that? You know. Oh, right. They rehash the same bullshit event every year for, Season of the Dawn and Festival of the Cost, and now they double dip into those as well with all their Eververse money. So they do minimum effort to rehash and give you the same content every year. But on top of that, they find ways to even more monetize it with that 3.6 billion and all that additional Eververse money that they're getting that you all white knight.
Now, the 30th anniversary update was also the tipping point that introduced dungeon keys to Destiny 2. These have got to be one of the most divisive double-dipping additions to the game ever made. For those of you who
bullshit.
don't know, dungeon keys were added in the Witch Queen. Bungie releases 2 dungeons each year, and if you don't buy the deluxe edition, that being the expansion plus annual pass, you also have to buy these separately. Both dungeons are sold together for 2,000 silver. This is Bungie's in-game currency, which equates to $20. No longer are dungeons included in seasonal content, which made a lot of us scratch our heads asking, what the hell, Bungie? This only makes paying for content more confusing, and we know it to be a fact from first-hand experience. One of our part-time editors bought Season of the Deep to play the dungeon and didn't realize Ghost of the Deep was not included in Season of the Deep, meaning he had to go buy the dungeon key after buying the season to play what he actually wanted to play. If one of us can make that mistake, how much easier is it for a new player who has never played Destiny to make that mistake as well? The title for the dungeon trailer on YouTube even suggests that it's included with the Season of the Deep. You will only find out otherwise if you read through Bungie's website or visit.
But that's the point. They don't want you to find out. They want you to spend that money and then want you to find out that you screwed up and then spend even more money. That's literally the whole point of this. That's literally the whole purpose of them doing it like this. It's to nickel and dime even more money from you.
Visit the activity directly or visit the last page in the Eververse store, which we know a decent portion of new players will not know how to do.
Oh, don't get me started with this one. I was completely and utterly thrown out the window with this one. But let's see what he says.
Surely the price of seasons deserve to be lower, right? No. Bungie raised the price of seasonal content. If you want to buy a season by itself, it used to cost only $10. And honestly, for 6 weeks of story, some cool cutscenes, access to the multiplayer activities and new gear, I would have argued that it was a great deal. But then Bungie increased the price. And you know what? Fair enough. Adjust for inflation. Gotta put food on the table.
I agree.
Makes sense.
I agree.
They announced in a twat they were increasing the price of seasons from 1,000 silver to 1,200 silver, which puts us at $10 a season to now $12 per
But it's
season.
not $12.
You see, when you buy silver, Bungie gives you a little extra for each purchase. And the bigger the purchase, the more extra you get. So when you buy $10 worth of silver, that being 1,000, you actually get 1,100 silver. That's so generous of them. Funny how that works too, because that's just short of the amount needed to buy a new expansion.
Bingo!
Individual season, you need to purchase $15 worth.
There you go.
12, meaning Bungie actually raised the price
By
by $5.
$5.
Because
Yep.
you can't buy seasons with real money. You have to buy them with Bungie's tokens. They're fake money. Now I'm surprised too, considering how cluttered the Steam store is already with expansions, which by the way, you can buy with real money. Why not
It's
just add
bull.
each season there too? Make an annual season pack. Hell, folks are already confused. You might as well add it. Something tells me we won't ever see a $12 silver purchase.
Of course we're not.
anytime soon.
They want more money.
Bungie added the $15 option right before Season of the D, and even created a $100 silver purchase option too. So if you want to bankroll their pockets even more, that's a lot easier. And guess what? You got a $5 increase was bad. Let's take a trip down to the Microsoft and Epic Game Store, where there is no $15 silver option. The next highest is $20.
PlayStation only, baby.
The price for a new season. Guys, that's just borderline evil. Thankfully, any players who use these platforms are not completely screwed. Bungie does offer a $15 seasonal silver bundle as well, but not only is it separate from the other silver purchase options, it also doesn't advertise how much silver it gives. You actually have to click into it to see how much silver you are buying. But hey, it comes with a free emote. Am I right? I do want to be clear. I'm not against silver existing or people buying silver. I've bought plenty of silver. I'll even meet Bungie halfway. I'm not against paying $12 for a season.
No, I think $12 is fine.
Scummy, underhanded tactics that Bungie keeps using that pisses me off. Bungie, if you're gonna raise the price of a season to $15,
Well done, Aztecross.
please have the
Well
balls to just
done.
tell us straight. I shouldn't need to perform mental gymnastics to decipher a change in pricing structure like it's a day one raid encounter. It's not the price increase that rubs me wrong. It's how Bungie intentionally designed it to siphon more money while deceiving the community into thinking it was less.
That is exactly the point I was raising earlier. Well done, Aztecross. You have my full gratitude. That is amazing, because that point right there is the fact that it is just so scummily underdone is why I was against it. The $2 is not bad. That's fine. But give us the option to just buy the damn thing outright. Do not do it in a way where it's just so anti-consumer. But they knew what they were doing, and they did it deliberately. And there's still people defending this type of action, and it is wrong. Oh, the events are trash.
All right, this whole video has been pretty
Thank you.
lame up until now. That's all going to change when we talk about seasonal events and event cards. Event cards.
Ah, this is what I was talking about.
Worst paid item ever added to Destiny.
Boom!
Bungie had the idea to add event cards to Destiny. These are filled with event challenges that grant you materials, event cosmetics, weapons, etc. This card was introduced as Bungie's solution to simplify in-game events, making it easier for players to reference what they needed to do to earn more rewards and complete the event title. Their solution: plaster a giant pay to unlock button on the front of the event card to earn more rewards. You heard me right. You have to pay 1,000 silver, $10, for the privilege of completing challenges so you can earn these extra rewards. It's essentially a mini battle pass. That is
I just want to add that in one of the Season of the Dawns, they actually had the Gundam outfit, right? Which I purchased with Gold Dust. And the actual shader to give it that Gundam look, the red, blue, and white, was hidden behind one of these passes. They wanted me to pay, I think it was £15 or £18 for one of these passes just because I wanted that shader to go with my cosmetic item. That's how pathetic these people are. And honestly, I was so close to buying it but I resisted, and I'm happy that I did, because that's 18 or 15 quid in my pocket that I could spend elsewhere on something else that's worth it, that isn't going to use these underhanded scummy tactics. There was literally no reason for this card to exist. These events are paid for by Bungie's own admission through the Eververse transactions. So why are they double dipping into it and making us pay more for rewards? It's disgusting.
Is already inside of a seasonal battle pass model. If you don't complete the challenges, you don't get any rewards. And even worse, players often don't know that it only gives you 4 cosmetics. All the others on the card are free. This microtransaction is positioned strategically where all players interact with event challenges, because if you don't buy it immediately, Bungie wants you to stare at it for 3 weeks while you finish all your other challenges, slowly seducing you to part with $10 cosmetics. But it's only cosmetics.
I love the editing.
What's the big deal? That is the big deal. Events in Destiny 2 are only about cosmetics.
Yep.
Over 90% of the cosmetics you have to pay for. Surprise! Just like dungeons, seasonal events are not included in your seasonal pass purchase. You want to know why everyone thinks events are boring? It's because they are rehashed every year, and they revolve around spending money. Every new armor set, $10. New emotes, $10. Ghost shells, ghost projections, finishers, the list goes on. Money, money, money. It's so bad that Festival of the Lost has eternally been dubbed Festival of the Costs. Why would I want to participate in events where I get one gun and have nothing else meaningful to work towards? Normally, I have zero problem with paying for cosmetics, because cosmetics are just the extra cherry on top. I already pay for my content, and if I want to spend a little more, that's my choice. The problem with events is the cosmetics are the content. It's all over the marketing. It's in the silver shop. It's on my event challenge card. Events became unfun a long time ago because the content came second to the cosmetics. Yes, it is possible for cosmetic microtransactions to ruin video games. Just look at Halo Infinite. Part of the reason why it was received so poorly, beside the lack of co-op and mediocre campaign, was because all avenues of customization
100%.
were locked behind paywalls.
100%.
This is always one of Halo's greatest strengths. The Master Chief Collection on Steam still has free live service seasonal content. You purchase the game once, get to play some of the best games ever made by Bungie and 343, and visual progression is alive and well, unhindered by microtransaction hell. Best $40 I've ever spent. Even less when it goes on sale. Events have become just another way, though, to squeeze more money. And
there's the Gundam suit I wanted.
In preparation for the next season, and it just keeps getting worse. Is Bungie in the moral wrong for promoting more cosmetics during an event? No. Do I have the right to call events in Destiny boring and being mid as hell? Because there is little to no loot tied to them that you can actually earn. Yes, we do have that right. And because events are quote-unquote free to all players, there is zero monetary incentive for Bungie to spend time on anything more than creating the most attractive Destiny shopping mall for 3 weeks. I would love for Bungie to prove me wrong on this one, because I like the idea of events. They're supposed to be fun, but there's nothing fun to do during those 3 weeks unless you like spending more money.
And this is why I've skipped almost every event for the past, 2 years, 3 years? I kind of go to start them, even the one that just went by recently, where you got that awesome scout rifle that it showcased in the video. I actually wanted just to do the beginning and pick it up, but I couldn't be bothered. I could not find it within myself to load the game up, to pick that item up, because the event itself is so disappointingly trash. I've done the same event over and over again. I don't want it, and the low effort is just wrong. All Bungie cares about in this game right now is the microtransactions. They want to milk the community as much as they can, and I'm just not interested in that. When I buy Destiny, I want Destiny for Destiny. I want to feel that space magic. I want to feel that, that search for loot. Now, you don't even search for loot. You search for red bars. Everything is red bar. If it isn't a red bar, it's a trash weapon. You don't care. All you care about is red bars. And now, from what I've heard, you can even buy red bars. Or at least there's a kind of persuado way of them forcing you to buy something that actually gives you more of these particular items. I'm hoping it covers that as well. But either way, these events, they, like you say, they're just a shopping mall to get more money out of you. And that's wrong, because we are actually paying for this content already through Eververse. So for them to be double dipping, it's wrong.
You fix events in Destiny is by investing in the player experience. Supremacy during Guardian games is a great first step, but that existed as a base game mode in Destiny 1. So we really can't give brownie points here for something Bungie gave back to us from 6 years ago. Provide players who don't want to spend money, meaningful gameplay or rewards for their time, and then we'll revisit this topic.
Oh boy. He's going to
And
Eververse.
this next gripe is more of a PSA. Do I have anything against paid cosmetics existing
No.
in Destiny? No. However, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the cost for everything in Eververse store is insane. $15 per armor set. Exotic emotes can get as high as $12 each. Exotic ornaments, $6 each. And this all adds up very quickly, especially if you want to get one thing per character. The most recent price hike we've seen has been the collaboration armor set.
$20
The
each.
Epic Games collab during Season the Plunder and have stayed consistent with every collab since. Assassin's Creed, PlayStation, all of these armor sets cost 2,000 silver each. That's $20 for one set of armor. All of Destiny 1's, DLCs included, was on sale for just $20 just a few weeks ago. There's no universe where you can convince me that 3 armor sets cost $60 total, one for each class, by the way, and somehow that is worth the same price as a AAA game. Now, will people buy them? Obviously, yes. Will Bungie make lots of money? Yeah. Are we getting ripped off? You damn right. This isn't just Bungie doing this though. This is basically industry standard. In-game cosmetics are beyond expensive. It's your money, so spend it how you deem fit. But I figure while we're on the subject, I should make you doubly aware that everything in Eververse is very expensive and, dare I say, dramatically overpriced.
100%. 100%.
Bungie is constantly devising methods to make you spend more money in game, whether you're a hardcore player or even free to play. The constant scheming never ends. In addition to everything we've previously mentioned, this season Bungie added an Eververse recommended tab to the store, so you can find offers made just for you more easily. Earlier this year, Bungie added the ability to purchase weapon ornaments on.
I think this is a good feature.
Game. Now, I will admit, this is convenient if you want to view what your flashy exotic would look like with a new paint job. But this is also an obvious play to reduce the distance between the player
Of course.
and button. You cannot preview armor ornaments with shaders before you buy them. You have to purchase the armor, then you can see if that matches your look. If any of you remember, shaders used to cost 40 bright dust.
Now it's free for 100.
It's an in-game currency that you can't buy, but you can only spend on specific items in the Eververse store. It's designed to keep players engaged with the store, even if they haven't spent any money, in the hopes that they will spend money in the future. Anyway, Bungie raised the price of shaders from 40 to 300 bright dust.
It's crazy.
Because they wanted to. Just another sink for bright dust, so you have less free money for armor, emotes, or anything else you want to buy. And they've also started locking shaders behind paid bundles too. And normally shaders would be frequently available for bright dust at the beginning of each season. Guys, it has been barely 3 weeks since the Season of the Deep launch at the time of this video, and no new shaders have been sold. Now, if you like ghost projections, don't take offense to what I'm about to say, but I'm of the opinion that these cosmetics solely exist to inflate the Bright Ingram loophole. You could also make the argument that this is why Bungie makes so many cosmetics to begin with. Every new season, there are at least 9 new ships, sparrows, and ghosts. These are all sold in the Eververse store each season, but a majority of players will never see or want them. I wish I could tell you how many emotes and ghost projections exist in the game as of this moment, but Bungie does not put these items in player collections. Maybe someone with access to the API might know, but your average player has no clue. Inflating the Bright Ingram loophole means every time you level up enough to earn a Bright Ingram, you have to turn it in at the Eververse store and you get nothing of value, further encouraging players to spend to acquire coveted cosmetics. Now,
It's
if you're a
true.
live player, when you visit Shahan to pick up your first quests and bounties, you are greeted with an exotic in his inventory, except you can't collect this exotic. It's a short quest that you can only pick up after buying the most recent expansion. This year, it's Arbalest and requires you to buy Linefall. Last year, it was Sweet Business and required you to buy the Witch Queen. No idea if Bungie removes these weapons from the loot pool for new lights or just pretends like they are part of the new expansion content, even though both of these weapons clearly belong in free-to-play given their age. Either way, shame on you, Bungie. Not only is this baiting players who haven't even played the game yet to spend money on an expansion, but you're doing it with content that has no business being tied to these new expansions.
I agree 100%.
Now, what if I told you Destiny has now approached pay to win? Now,
I've said Destiny's been pay to win for a long time, ever since they introduced power items within the battle pass. So let's see if that's what he's going to be referring to, because you know, the fact that you can get XP boosts in your battle pass, the fact that you can get boosters, you can get specific items that progress you faster is pay to win.
some of you may say that will never happen. Others of you may say it happened a long time ago. However, this season, definitively without a shadow of a doubt, has now pushed Destiny 2 into pay-to-win territory. Let me explain. In the past, we've brought up issues like character boosting. Essentially, you can pay $20 to skip the Destiny campaign and start unlocking your subclass and getting a head start on other content. I would make the argument that this is pay-to-win. In fact, we have made that argument in the past, and at the time, it was a pretty controversial subject. Another hot topic is expansion pre-order early exotic access. If you bought the Lightfall Deluxe Edition early, you unlocked Quicksilver Storm months before the Lightfall expansion was even released. People who bought the base version of Lightfall had to wait until Season the Deep to use this exotic, which is literally over half a year total in waiting. Now, we thought that the weapon was pretty good in PvP. We called it pay to win. More people agreed, but yet again, controversial. The problem is, many people are reluctant to call Destiny a pay-to-win game. This hesitancy stems from one question: what is considered winning in Destiny? If you don't know what winning even means, then can you even win in Destiny? Let's try and break it down. What if we classify winning in Destiny as achieving certain in-game goals? Going flawless, completing a dungeon, raid, or nightfall. All of these could be considered winning because they are difficult challenges, and they reward the players who complete them with great loot. Actually, I believe we just found our answer. Winning in Destiny 2 means getting great loot. Whether it's armor or weapons, great loot is the reason why people play this game. Strip everything else away, at its core, people play Destiny so they can earn loot and use that loot to complete harder content, or enhance the content they already play, earning more great loot in the process. Owning better loot objectively gives you an advantage over other players in game. Need I mention the Immortal and Trials of Osiris or Galahorn at multiple points in Destiny's sandbox? That's why it's called a looter shooter. Loot isn't everything Destiny has to offer, but it affects every aspect of the gameplay experience. With that in mind, we can now assign a definition of pay to win in Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is pay to win when an unfair advantage in obtaining great loot is only accessible to players who spend more money than what is essential to play Destiny 2. If you have a better definition, I would love to read your suggestions.
No, I 100% agree with that statement. I think it's pretty on point. But as we'll see, there's also like other advantages that you're going to gain. It's not just cosmetics or items or weapons. There's actual materials there that are, you know, locked out from non-paying customers.
In the comments below. But as of this moment, I
at least we will see.
Encapsulates pay to win in the context of Destiny 2 or any looter shooter quite well. All right, Cross, we get it. What's your point? Over the years, Bungie has been inching closer and closer to this pay to win line. And as of Season 21, Season the Deep, they finally crossed it. Bungie opened the floodgates and are now allowing people to buy max rank for the entire season pass on day 1 of the new season. And you may be thinking, really, Cross? The season pass is not even pay to win. Is that right? Let's take a look, shall we? What does the Destiny season pass actually contain? Emotes? Shaders? Ornaments? What about XP bonuses? In-game materials? More weapon drops? Yeah, you can get those. Progression boosts? Season passes got them, fellas. Exotics? God roll legendary weapons? Every single one of those is available from the season pass, and every single one of these you can buy immediately for $100 at the beginning of a season. It didn't always used to be this way. Years ago, you couldn't even buy levels in the season pass. But then in Season the Undying, Bungie had a change of heart. You can now buy them, but it has to be at the end of the season. Bungie called it a catch-up mechanic, so no one would miss out if life got in the way. And it was from that moment the downward spiral began. Soon it was
obviously
halfway through the season, then 3 weeks into the season. Now years later, it's available day 1 of a new season.
Because it's a transition.
You only have 3 months to complete the season pass. Better buy the ranks now before they're gone. Good news, the bundle Bungie sells for the first season Pass plus first 10 ranks also went up in price. And even better is that we are evaluating new approaches to post-launch content in the year of Final Shape, which is corporate code for another price increase to $15 next year. It all makes sense now. Why do you think Bungie added that $100 silver purchase option in Steam while simultaneously offering a new fully ranked season pass for $100? Seems awfully convenient that both these new features shipped at the same time. You know what else is strangely convenient? Deep sight activation. For those of you who
here we go.
Deep sight is used to grant patterns for craftable weapons in Destiny. Once you've earned 5 deep sights for a specific weapon, you can craft the perfect roll of said weapon. It is literally the loot in-game of Destiny 2. Perfect weapons with perfect rolls that takes lots of time to get. Deep sight activation is the ability to apply deep sight to a weapon that didn't drop with the weapon initially. This new quality of life feature was teased earlier this year and was beyond exciting because this would have been a very useful avenue for new or returning players to earn old craftable weapons that no longer drop in the roll loot pool. Imagine our dismay when Bungie announced that the new deep sight harmonizer material that is used to apply deep sight is only available on the season pass. 3 from the free track and 3 from the pay track.
Of course.
6 total per season. If you want to know the math behind that, if you're new to the game, earning every weapon that no longer drops with deep sight would take you 24 seasons to get them all. We haven't even had 24 seasons in Destiny's lifespan. Now there is no method to earn these materials in game. All you can do is wait for Bungie to drip feed you with XP. Unless you don't have to wait. Let's say you want that God roll targeted redaction or that crafted Apex Predator right now. All you need to do is spend some silver. And just like that, you have enough deep sight to instantly craft any weapon you like. Sure, you have to get it to actually drop, but that's not a problem when you can focus all the seasonal weapons at the helm and farm last switch weapons for a few hours. Purchasing deep sight application allows you to completely bypass the craftable weapon loot grind for any crafted weapon you want. And you know what's crazy? Bungie pulled this exact same stunt with armor transmog. If you want to customize your armor, it was going to be limited and extremely complicated to earn. Oh, but also you could just buy it from the Eververse store. Of course, people were angry, but Bungie was still always safe because at the end of the day, it was only cosmetic. It can't be pay to win.
It doesn't matter if it's cosmetic. I don't understand this concept. Just because it's cosmetic doesn't give you the right to rip your community off. It doesn't give you the right to make your community just... I don't know. I don't understand how the community allows this. And for those of you that are wondering, I literally play Destiny 2 45 minutes a week. I literally just play the story. Unfortunately, the actual activities and stuff going back and forth take about 45 minutes, and that is it, because I literally am done with Destiny. I just want to see it through to the end of the story, finish the story with Final Shape, and that's it. I'm done. I really have no interest in it anymore because of the way the game actually is. They've killed it for me. There's almost no new content. The seasonal content sucks. The actual cosmetics that I would be interested in is locked behind a paywall. Everything that I'm interested in comes up as a pop-up ad. They want me to grind the same content every single day, every single week. And sure, you may be wondering, well, do you play other games that require you to do dailies and stuff? I do. It's literally I jump in and I do it in 5 minutes and I leave if there's no new content. But I also have the option of just not doing it. But here, there's the FOMO, because if you've paid for the content, if you've paid for the season and you don't like it, well, guess what? You kind of want to get your money's worth, because now you have to do that season pass. I don't know.
Deep sight application is anything but cosmetic. This new feature is now being weaponized by Bungie to implement pay-to-win mechanics into the season pass. Some of you may be thinking I'm overreacting.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Just one more time.
A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold, I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold, nothing. And as long as Bungie does not cross the line of cosmetic items, I think we'll be fine. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
It doesn't matter if deep side harmonizers aren't directly purchasable from the Eververse store. It
They
doesn't
will
matter
be.
if in-game materials, XP bonuses, exotic ciphers, or progression boosts are contained within the vehicle we call the Season Pass, you can still purchase them. The lie Bungie tries to tell us is that these rewards are available to everyone. Therefore, purchasing it early is of no consequence. All of the deep side harmonizers are beyond rank 50 in the Season Pass. 99.9% of the player base will not reach those ranks for weeks, if not months. But if you have money, you can just access more loot, more rewards, more craftable godable weapons for little to no work. What if the Immortal had been craftable this season? Everyone would have lost their minds. Just imagine if you could essentially buy a perfect PvP weapon and terrorize the Crucible with it for weeks or months with little to no competition. All hell would have broken loose. This doomsday scenario is not only possible, but now it is incredibly likely. If this isn't pay to win, fellas, I don't know what is.
It is. It is. And I think I watched a video of Datos recently. I'm guessing he was reacting to this when he was saying Aztecross. He's actually backtracked from that statement and is basically saying that he's totally fine with it because he's not participating in buying silver or anything like that, which I think is just... Well, I'll let you make your mind up on that one.
An argument I want to kill in the egg before it gains any traction is that Bungie is charging more money because they are making better content / another game. Don't kid yourself, guys. We know that Bungie's team for Destiny has not dramatically increased in size since the Taken King. We also know that Bungie is making a boatload of more money than they did back in Destiny 1 because more players and microtransactions exist. Yes, I think the seasonal model is better for Destiny as a live service game. Yes, I believe that microtransactions have their place in Destiny. I'm not even paying extra for seasons. I buy the deluxe edition of the game every year that has zero effect on me. But I am sick and tired of the player base getting nickeled and dimed at every turn. The constant double dipping, the never-ending increases in prices, and confusion for new players. I don't even know why we're surprised. Bungie in their GDC 2022 panel celebrated their 3-step plan for Destiny. After winning back player trust and keeping player retention high, their main focus was once again revenue. We took Bungie's side then when this controversy was blowing up because believe it or not, we like it when Bungie's profitable. That's not a bad thing, but the pursuit of more profits came with the promise that it would be built off that foundation of player trust. Newsflash, adding pay-to-win mechanics and lying to the community destroys player trust. I am not going to support a business model that employs these types of marketing strategies. I'm not going to pretend like this is some turning point for Destiny, a point of no return. This is not a crossroad. It's just another step along a very long road that's marching us closer and closer to microtransaction hell. As for Bungie's new game Marathon, why should I give a damn about Marathon? I'm not paying to play Marathon. I'm paying to play Destiny 2. And as a diverse player who plays PvP and PvE, I thought overall things were decent. But then I listened to a clip from Grenader Jake, who lives and breathes PvP, especially Trials.
I think what Bungie touches usually turns to gold. Halo, Destiny, I bet you Marathon's gonna kill it. But do you want some real, honest feedback from me too? I think it's absolutely up that Bungie would abandon this game's PvP essentially, which is what they've done. They've made us basically no new maps in like 4 years, yet continue to make us pay hundreds of dollars a year so they can go work on their next baby. It feels like complete bullshit, dude. I feel like Destiny players have the right, especially Destiny PvP players, to be pissed. We're still spending over $100 every year to play this game. They literally abandoned us. And I feel like that's really frustrating.
And this really put things into perspective.
You're being ignored as the PvP community because PvP is free. It's within the free to try model, which means there is no return on investment. I don't have to pay a single dime to Bungie to jump into Crucible and play as much as I want on any game mode that there is there. I don't think Trials is available. But outside of Trials, I think Iron Banner might be available. I'm not sure. But even Iron Banner, they removed the power requirement, right? But there is literally no return on investment. The moment those core game modes went free, Bungie abandoned them. And unfortunately, the number one thing that Bungie cares about is not the player base, not player satisfaction, not winning the player trust. It's that bottom of the barrel one that everyone continuously hounded Activision for and blamed Activision for and, you know, crucified Activision for revenue. It's all about revenue. All Bungie cares about is how they can sneak into your pocket, sneak into your wallet, and get that card and swipey. That is literally all they care about. They don't give two shits about the player base. They don't. All they care about is those people going to the Eververse store and buying that content. And with that Stockholm syndrome, oh, I've invested so much time into Destiny, I can't play anything else. They know you're coming back. They do. It's hard to break away from something when you've spent 6, 7, 8, 9 years playing it. But people should. And see the game for what it is. Take a break from the game for 3 months and then come back and see what the game actually is, like I did. And you will see that it's really bad. The state of the game is not good and not much has changed. All that you'll find is them trying to sneak into your wallet to take that extra bit of money. That is all they care about. You know what? Back when Activision was still part of Bungie, at least we got good content. At least we got Warmind in Destiny 2. Sure, they may have made some really bad decisions with the double primary. Some people may like it, some people may not. And, you know, rebooting the whole game. But we actually got good content. Curse of the Osiris was made by Bungie. The original campaign was made with Vicarious Visions support. Forsaken was pretty much the majority of it was made by Vicarious Visions. Warmind was Vicarious Visions. All those stuff was with the majority support of Vicarious Visions. The shit content that remains in Destiny is what Bungie makes.
Bungie abandoned Destiny 2 PvP for their new PvP game. Not only that, but Marathon is also getting all the bells and whistles Destiny players have been asking for for a very long time. Dedicated servers, leaderboards, new maps. Only after complaining year after year, buying new expansions and seasons year after year, are PvP players finally getting some attention. More than anything else, it's just sad that this much money has been spent by this many people, and what content do they have to show for it? Almost nothing. Bungie made a promise to make the game better for all players, not just PvP
it's
players,
true.
all players. Sadly, this isn't the first time Destiny players have been abandoned before. I know a lot of you have never played or don't care about Destiny 1 these days, but 7 years ago, before Silver even existed, the Taken King Collector's Edition was sold, and it included some custom emotes and class items. Back then, these were some of the best looking armor pieces and emotes in the game. Several of our editors were young teens at the time, and being Destiny fans, they bought the Collector's Edition. Revisiting those accounts years later, practicing for the Destiny 2 King's Fall raid race, gathering footage for videos and so on, they notice they can't equip their custom Taken King items anymore. Items that they own, items that they paid for, items that Bungie would happily charge them $20 to repurchase years later are sitting in their inventory, and they can't use them. They aren't the only ones either. Forum posts dating several years back also complained about this exact issue. Bungie hasn't fixed it. Why would they? Repurchasing old content isn't new grounds for Bungie, and paying for content just for it to be unplayable years later isn't a novel concept for them. Bungie doesn't care about their old game. Bungie only cares about their new game, the one that will make them more money, the one that gets the $3.6 billion deals, the one they can use as a vehicle to be as profitable as possible, pay to win or otherwise. That's everything. That's all I got, guys. This isn't a Bungie strike. This isn't me disowning Destiny for the rest of my life. Frankly, that will accomplish nothing. As a wise man once said, every gaming boycott is one 3-minute cinematic from being over. The final shape, Destiny's climax, is on the horizon. Microtransactions will not kill Destiny. Destiny is not on the verge of collapse. It's in fact the opposite. Destiny is making more money than ever before. It has more players than ever before, and I love that. But the terrible truth is, this success gives even more credence to these business practices. It affirms greedy behavior, and it gives Bungie a giant green light to invent new ways to take our money and devalue the player. I remember the days when you walked into a store and bought a game, and now more than ever, I find myself diving into a game and finding a store. A long time ago, when Bungie was beneath the corporate umbrella of Activision, we saw the senseless greed, the half-baked products, and we rejoiced when Bungie went solo. Little did we know, we were going out of the frying pan and into the fire. Bungie in some ways is worse than Activision ever was. If you take anything
Thank you! He said it! He actually said it! I can't believe it! He said it! He actually said it! Oh my god! Finally! Someone said it!
pan and into the fire. Bungie in some ways is worse than Activision ever was.
Thank you.
I want you to think about everything we discussed, all the actions Bungie has taken objectively, and decide for yourself, where do I draw the line? How
I drew the
far
line
is it
ages
too far?
ago.
Remember that, because looking back, we're already well and beyond what we would have tolerated 7 years ago. I imagine 7 years from now into the future, when we have Marathon, a mobile game, and who knows, maybe even Destiny 3, I'll ask you again, where did you draw the line? And I'm almost certain Bungie will have stepped over it. I'm almost.
And that's it. That's the video. I agree with him. I totally agree with a lot of everything that's been said here. If anyone doesn't agree with this, I genuinely don't know how they cannot. Bungie has stepped over that line time and time again, and what they've been doing over the time is basically finding ways. I mean, even the Battle Pass thing where you could only buy the last in the last weeks, that was all a test to see if people would buy, and then they made it earlier, and then people were buying, and then earlier, and people were buying. Every season now, I see a streamer pop that $100 to get those 100 levels instantly because they just don't want to do it themselves. Instantaneous. Like, I see it all the time because they get so much benefit from it, from doing it instantly, popping that instantly. You get all the XP boost, all the catalyst boost, everything. It's pay to win. But the fact that he said it at the end, Bungie is worse than Activision, I cannot believe it. I'm so happy he said that because I have been saying this for a long time. As many of you know, I have been shunned out of Destiny. I used to cover Destiny, but because of my views, basically what this video is, but because of my views, I was basically forced out of the Destiny community. And let's see what happens now. I mean, this video has 1 million views. So clearly a lot of people are resonating with it. How many likes has it got? Let's have a quick look. How many likes has it got? 75,000 from 1 million views. I expected more. It's got 1,000 dislikes almost. These are the white knights. These are the people that are the problem with Destiny. I don't know. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you next time. Though I am genuinely interested in what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Remain legend.